This experiment has been performed in order to demonstrate that the force of gravity is a particular form of energy. And it being a form of energy, the intensity of the field is able to be increased and decreased. This energy existence is according to the concept of C2 equals E divided by M, which equation is the third part of the physics trilogy. These three values are E equals mc2, M equals E divided by C2, and C2 equals E divided by M. These describe basic information concerning the creation of our universe. The reality of C2 equals E divided by M has been demonstrated in this experiment by use of a laser beam being directed to a distance of approximately 70 feet from the point of origin to a distant white surface, where slight changes in the laser design are easy to see. This change in light pattern is brought about due to a 39-gram lead weight being attached to one side of a small swing that pivots within an enclosed, transparent vertical cylinder. This apparatus acts as a simple horizontal gravimeter. What will be noted during the experiment is a controlled change of light pattern. As a newly formed gravitational field increases, it exerts a slightly greater force on the lead side of the suspended swing than on the other. This causes a twisting motion of the 4-foot-long, 10-pound monofilament line, and the angle of the mirror attached to the opposite side of the swing increases its angle slightly, which movement the laser converts into a change of light pattern on a distant white surface. Due to the very weak nature of gravity, it takes approximately 7 minutes for a light pattern to appear in different form after the pressure has been applied to the 20-ton bottle jack, which increase of pressure supplies the E value of C2 equals E divided by M. It takes approximately the same amount of time for the torsion of the monofilament line to bring the small suspended swing to its original position once the pressure has been released. It is the heat energy within a mass that forms a field of gravity. If there were a mass, no matter the size, and it had no heat energy within, it would have no gravity. By using a bottle jack to increase pressure within a mass, the slow increase of gravity by heat energy is bypassed, and an increased field of this force is quickly formed. It is similar to having a large mass compressed to a smaller size. If you use the time slide when viewing the video, you will see that the light pattern changes to a new position and then back again to the original design, and that this change is obvious. Notice the light pattern at the beginning, then move the time slide to 7 minutes ahead and note that pattern. Next, move the time slide to 13 minutes from start, and you shall find the laser pattern has returned to near its original position. The reason for this change is that in the beginning of the experiment, pressure is applied to the stainless steel rod, forcing it upward into the lead. Then 7 minutes later, the pressure is released, and the torsion of the monofilament line causes the swing to move back toward its original position. This same experiment continues on to a second phase 13 minutes outward from the beginning. In the second phase, a great deal more pressure than at first is applied to the bottle jack. Because of this additional pressure, the E energy value changes. The newly formed force pulls the lead weight with greater intensity than at first. Because of this increase, the laser pattern spreads out in an elongated manner as the mirror moves to a greater angle. Then, when pressure is released on a bottle jack 21 minutes outward, the light pattern does not return to its original position, as in the first phase, but it does change from an elongated pattern toward becoming that as first seen. The light pattern will have changed from its elongated form toward that of its original shape at the 26-minute mark. I was going to stop the video there, but the experiment continued to 31 minutes and I let it run out. Onward from 25 minutes, all that is observed is a drift of the experiment. The rod has been driven so far into the lead-filled pot. When the pressure is released, the lateral push of the lead cannot force the rod to assume its original position. So the entire pattern begins to drift toward the direction where the greatest pressure had been applied. The field of gravity decreases less and less towards zero the more times this experiment is performed. So a slight continual field of gravity increase remains. It appears that it is this residual force that causes the drift. When I made the stainless steel pot many years ago, I had to heat the lead to a molten state and pour it in through the small guide opening. Because lead expands so much more when molten as compared to when it becomes a solid, a void formed within the pot as the lead cooled, which void has not yet been completely filled. It is for this reason the rod is not forced outward with the same pressure as applied by the bottle jack. The more times the experiment is performed, the deeper the rod moves into the lead pot. Toward the end, it takes all the pressure possible to form a distinguishable field of gravity.